The Cleveland Browns entered training camp with one clear message from the top. Stability is the priority. Veterans like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett were expected to anchor the quarterback room, with rookie Shedeur Sanders labeled as developmental. But just a few days into practice, that narrative is starting to collapse. And it's all because of what insiders are calling the most electrifying rookie training camp performance in years. Leaked footage from closed-door practices has begun circulating among scouts, and if you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. And beat reporters. What's in it? A young man in a Browns helmet, wearing the unmistakable number 2, dropping dimes into triple coverage, firing 40-yard lasers on a run, and commanding the offense like a 10-year vet. That young man is Sheduer Sanders, and the football world is finally seeing what those closest of Browns have been whispering all week. He might already be the best quarterback on the field. When training camp opened, Tony Grossi and other veteran media figures made it clear Flacco was a guy. He's got the experience, the hardware, the poise, and there's no denying that. But what happens when a rookie not only closes a gap, but starts outplaying the veteran? That's exactly what Sanders is doing. The leaked footage shows him making throws that neither Flacco nor Pickett attempted. Tight windows, aggressive timing, deep ball accuracy, improvisational brilliance. Every category that defines a franchise quarterback, Sanders has checked the box. More telling than the footage, however, is the shift in the players' attitudes. Veterans who were tight-lipped about Sanders during OTAs are now reportedly pulling him aside to talk through reads and route adjustments, not to teach him, but to keep up with him. The chemistry between Sanders and wide receivers like Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore has accelerated at a stunning pace, with red zone reps turning into highlight reels. The coaching staff, meanwhile, has gone from scripting him light third-team drills to giving him unstructured live snaps against the first-team defense. And he's not blinking. It's not just his throws. It's his command of the offense. One clip shows him recognizing a disguised safety blitz before the snap, shifting protection, then delivering a hot route to the slot receiver for a 15-yard gain. No panic, no hesitation, just composure and execution. It's the kind of moment coaches dream of, and the kind they rarely see from rookies still learning the terminology. While Tony Grossi doubled down on Flacco being the Week 1 starter, some in the building aren't so sure anymore. Behind closed doors, members of the Browns scouting department are reportedly pushing for Sanders to get more first-team reps. They've seen what he did at Colorado under constant pressure and behind a struggling offensive line. They've seen how he processed blitzes, protected the ball, and carried a team with poise far beyond his years. Now that he's operating behind an NFL-caliber line and throwing professional receivers, the game is slowing down for him and speeding up for everyone else. One team staffer, speaking off the record, reportedly said, "You can't unsee what we saw this week." That's the kind of comment that forces a coaching staff to reevaluate depth charts and rotation plans. That's the kind of performance that turns developmental rookie into QB of the future and possibly the present. Shedeur's rise has also created unexpected friction in the quarterback room. While Flacco remains a respected elder statesman, some insiders suggest Kenny Pickett is privately frustrated. He expected to compete for the backup role and perhaps challenge Flacco later in the season. But with Shedeur taking over red zone periods and 2-minute drills, Pickett's path to the field is becoming murky. The coaches have publicly stated that there's no controversy, that everything is part of the plan. But the tape tells a different story. In a 5-play sequence from the leaked footage, Sanders goes 5 for 5 against the first-team defense, including a back shoulder fade that split Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit. Not only was the throw perfect, but the anticipation and timing would have made Peyton Manning nod in approval. That play alone sent a ripple through the organization. Offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt was seen having an extended sideline chat with Sanders immediately after. Sources say it wasn't critique, it was admiration. They weren't correcting him. They were learning how to build around him. And if that wasn't enough, Sanders' leadership has begun to pull the locker room into his orbit. After a rough practice period for the offense, it was Sanders, not Flacco or Pickett, who called a players-only huddle. He spoke softly, but every eye was on him. Whatever he said worked. The next series, the offense marched down the field with confidence, finishing with another Sanders touchdown throw. Sanders is also impressed in meetings, reportedly asking veteran-level questions that have left even the position coaches surprised. He's digging into coverages, blitz rules, option routes, looking not just to execute defense, but to own it. That kind of intellectual commitment is rare in a rookie, and it's sending a clear message. He didn't come here to sit. What's unfolding in Berea right now isn't just a good training camp story. It might be the beginning of a quarterback revolution for the Browns. A team that cycled through nearly 40 starting quarterbacks since returning to the NFL in 1999 may have stumbled upon their answer not through free agency or a top draft pick, but through a fifth-round steal who is refusing to be ignored. The fan reaction has been equally intense. Social media is ablaze with slowed-down clips of Sanders' throws, frame-by-frame breakdowns of his footwork, and enthusiastic speculation about when he'll take over. The phrase, "let Shedeur cook," is already trending among Browns fans, who are tired of waiting for the next guy and ready to rally behind someone who just might be him. Still, the Browns are playing it safe publicly. Head coach Kevin Stefanski is sticking to the company line, saying every quarterback will get their reps and that no decisions have been made. But if the trend continues, it'll be harder and harder to justify keeping Sanders off the field. The locker room knows it. The media is beginning to catch on. And most importantly, the opposition will soon have to prepare for it. What happens next could define the Browns season. If Flacco struggles early and the team starts 1-3 or 2-4, the pressure placed Sanders will become overwhelming. But even before that, if Sanders keeps dominating camp, preseason action could force the coaching staff's hand. If he outperforms Pickett and Flacco in live games the way he has in practice, the only argument against starting will be his age, not his ability. For now, the Browns are holding the line, but they're doing so with a rookie quarterback who is tearing that line to pieces. The leaked footage didn't show a project. It didn't show a prospect. It showed a professional quarterback ready to compete now, and perhaps destined to change everything. Shedeur Sanders came into camp as a rookie. He may leave it as the future. And if the Browns are bold enough to let him lead, that future could begin much sooner than anyone expected. What's unfolding inside Cleveland's training camp isn't just a quarterback competition. It's a cultural shift, and Shedeur Sanders is right at the center of it. Every year, training camps produce 1 or 2 surprise stories. A sixth-round pick shows flashes of potential. An undrafted rookie makes a big play, and fans get a new name to cheer for. But rarely does a fifth-round rookie quarterback come into camp and outshine not just his peers, but his elders, especially when those elders are former starters like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. What Sanders is doing goes beyond buzz. It's becoming reality. The signs are everywhere. The way players talk about him behind closed doors. The way the coaching staff keeps inching his reps forward without making it official. And most notably, the way fans have started chanting his name even before preseason games begin. Cleveland hasn't had this kind of organic excitement for a quarterback since perhaps the early days of Baker Mayfield. But where Mayfield carried brash confidence, Sanders operates with a surgeon's focus. He's deliberate, calm, almost too calm for a 21-year-old playing in the most scrutinized position in American sports. What's most remarkable is a complete absence of rookie errors. Usually, even the most talented young quarterbacks have missteps, overthrown balls, wrong reads, late decisions. Sanders has them too, of course, but they are rare, and when they happen, what stands out is how quickly he corrects. One practice session saw him miss a seam route early in a red zone drill. Instead of spiraling or becoming hesitant, he approached the receiver, discussed the timing, and returned the next rep to deliver a strike in the exact same spot. That's not luck. That's mastery in motion. Quarterbacks coach Drew Petzing reportedly spends extra hours with Sanders after practice. Not because Sanders is behind, but because he's ahead. He finishes install before I even start reviewing it. One coach quipped to a reporter, "It's becoming clear that Sanders doesn't just want to play in the NFL. He wants to dominate it. Even on special teams and during team stretches, there's a quiet energy around him. Defensive players respect his cadence. Receivers trust his timing. Linemen speak up when he enters the huddle. This is not normal for a rookie. This is how a leader moves through a team, slowly, steadily winning hearts and minds through action, not words. There's an unspoken hierarchy in every NFL locker room. Rookies, especially at quarterback, typically defer to veterans. But something different is happening here. When Shedeur walks into a room, it's not with arrogance, but with gravity. Players listen. Coaches lean in. Even front office personnel are watching more closely. They've seen too many years of instability at the position to ignore this glimmer of something different, something permanent. The Browns' history at quarterback is infamous. Since 1999, they've cycled through a dizzying list of starters, backups, and brief flashes of hope. From Tim Couch to Johnny Manziel to Deshaun Kaiser, the list is long and painful. The arrival of Deshaun Watson, once hailed as the answer, brought off-field baggage and on-field inconsistency. Flacco, while reliable, is 39. Pickett is serviceable, but not spectacular. Sanders offers something the city hasn't had in decades, the possibility of greatness. He plays with the composure of a Brady, the instinct of a Wilson, and the athleticism of a Young. But what separates him even more is his refusal to indulge in the hype. When asked about the leaked footage, Sanders responded with a simple shrug and a soft-spoken, "I'm just trying to get better." That humility speaks volumes. In a league obsessed with showmanship and branding, he's just trying to win football games. Off the field, his maturity continues to show. After the heartbreaking explosion in the Garden Valley housing complex, Sanders didn't wait for the team to issue a statement. He took it upon himself to visit the affected families, bring food and water, and organize a relief fund, all without press or fanfare. It wasn't performative. It was personal. He didn't just wear Cleveland's jersey. He represented its soul. That kind of character is invaluable in a franchise player. It's not just about reading defenses or throwing spirals. It's about embodying the city's values, grit, resilience, humility. And Cleveland, a city known for working-class toughness and enduring sports heartache, has found in Shedeur someone who reflects its own spirit back at it. As the preseason games approach, the stakes get higher. Sanders will likely get snaps in the second and third quarters, matching up against opposing second-string defenses. But the bar is already rising. Fans aren't just hoping for a good outing. They're expecting dominance. And if he delivers, it will be impossible to keep him on the bench. The locker room dynamics could shift too. Flacco, always a consummate professional, has remained supportive publicly. But behind the scenes, even he knows what's happening. You don't need a press release to tell when a team is moving in a new direction. You just need to watch who the players gravitate toward in the huddle. Some coaches are still cautious. They want to protect Sanders from the pressure, give him time, avoid ruining him. But they might not have a choice. If he keeps ascending at this rate, benching him could send the wrong message, not just to fans, but to the locker room. Players know when someone's special, and they also know when coaches are being political. Cleveland's early season schedule is tough. That's often the argument against starting a rookie. But what if that's exactly the test Sanders needs? Throw him into the fire, and if he holds up, you've got your answer. If not, you've still got two capable veterans behind him. The risk isn't as high as it seems, and the reward could be transformational. By mid-season, if Sanders starts, the city will erupt. Jerseys will fly off the shelves. National media will camp out in Berea. But more than that, the Browns will find themselves winning in a way they haven't in years, consistently, confidently, and with a quarterback who gives them a chance in every single game. His ceiling is unknown. He could become a Pro Bowler, a franchise icon, even one day a Hall of Famer. But for now, the focus is simple. Take it one rep at a time. That's all Sanders wants. That's all he's asked for. And that's all he's needed to turn Cleveland upside down. Whether it happens week 1 or later in the season, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. Shedeur Sanders isn't just competing for a job. He's building a legacy, and it may have already begun. And with each passing day at camp, that legacy continues to grow. Not through dramatic declarations or flashy theatrics, but through quiet, relentless consistency. Shedeur Sanders doesn't make headlines with controversy. He makes them with performance. His throws have become must-watch moments, not just for media, but for teammates who find themselves re-watching clips of practice just to study his timing and mechanics. His presence in the building is no longer that of a rookie trying to find his place. It's that of a leader who already knows where he belongs. Cleveland, as a city, doesn't fall for hype easily. Its fans have lived through too much heartbreak to trust shiny new promises. But Sanders is not a promise. He's proof. Every time he takes the field, he proves that talent, preparation, and character can coexist in one player. He proves that maybe, just maybe, the quarterback curse is finally over. And as trust begins to take root in the hearts of diehard Browns fans, the energy at training camp feels different. Like the city is holding its breath for a new chapter. What's perhaps most compelling is how Sanders manages to navigate the spotlight with the wisdom of someone twice his age. He is aware of the pressure, the comparisons, the expectations. Yet he never lets them dictate his behavior or work ethic. He doesn't chase headlines or campaign for the starting role. He simply shows up, early, prepared, focused, and lets the tape speak for itself. Even during team scrimmages, where rookies often defer to veterans, Sanders has shown a command of the offense that belies his age. He doesn't hesitate to change protections, audible at the line, or guide a receiver into the right spacing. These are traits usually seen in third-year starters, not rookies, and his teammates are responding. Veterans are trusting him. Linemen are protecting with more urgency. Receivers are running sharper routes. There's a rhythm developing around Sanders that feels like the early stages of something truly special. One coach reportedly noted that Sanders elevates the room just by being in it. That's not just talent. It's leadership. And it's that intangible, that presence, that could ultimately force a Browns' hand. In a quarterback room crowded with experience but lacking spark, Sanders is ignition, and once the fire catches, it's hard to put it out. It's also worth noting how the coaching staff is handling him. While they've been cautious in their public statements, their actions speak louder. Sanders has been getting increased reps in 2-minute drills, high-leverage situations that demand quick thinking and precision. These aren't just throwaway reps. They're auditions, and Sanders is acing them. In one particular session, with the team trailing by 4 and just under 2 minutes left, Sanders orchestrated a flawless drive. No wasted motion, no panic, just crisp passes, smart clock management, and a touchdown that left the sideline roaring. It wasn't just the execution, it was the confidence. He looked like he'd done it 100 times before. And maybe in his mind, he had that mental preparation, visualization, study, repetition, is what sets Sanders apart. He doesn't need the spotlight to be ready. He's already prepared in the dark, long before anyone's watching. And that preparation is beginning to bleed into the team culture. Younger players are staying after practice to work with him. Film sessions are running longer. The bar is being raised not by coaches, but by a 21-year-old quarterback who refuses to be average. For the city of Cleveland, it's more than just about winning games. It's about belief. It's about finally seeing a player who reflects their values, grit, humility, hard work, and gives them reason to hope again. Sanders hasn't played a single down in the regular season, and yet he's already started to shift the identity of the team. Whether the coaching staff names him starter in week 1 or waits until the time is right, one thing is certain, his moment is coming. And when it does, it won't be a gamble. It'll be the result of countless hours of preparation, earned trust, and a relentless refusal to settle for anything less than greatness. As the season approaches, fans are starting to prepare in their own way. Sanders jerseys are popping up around Cleveland. Sports radio is dominated by calls debating when he should start, not if, and in locker rooms across the league, whispers are beginning to circulate. The Browns might have found their guy, not a placeholder, not a bridge, but a cornerstone. In the NFL, windows of opportunity are small and fleeting. But with Shedeur Sanders, the Browns might finally have a window that stays open a little longer. One that invites not just success, but sustainability. One that allows a team, a city, and a fan base to finally build something that lasts. Because Shedeur isn't just a rookie. He's a movement. And movements don't wait for permission. They arrive when they're ready. And Cleveland is ready.